Okay, so I've been saying for the past few weeks that I was gonna do a room tour video when I was moved in, and this is about as moved in as I'm gonna get. So let's start the ding dang thing. And the first thing you see is a couple posters on the wall. I'm gonna go ahead and just go in and close the door. Fun fact, door does not lock. So that's not really a problem like when it comes to my parents or anything. It's just a problem when it comes to the cats because they can come in and out as they please. Bahamut's really good at kind of pawing and getting the door open, especially if it's ajar. The problem is sometimes the cats will come in here and pee on the floor or on the beanbag, which I'll show in a second. And that's not fun. That's kind of shitty. That's kind of ass. But let's take a look. So the first wall, you've got I from Oshi, you've got Lane from Lane, and I really, really like this poster of Lane. Actually, for the wall, maybe I should do long ways. And this, the hell is that? Oh, that's just over there. That was just the wall. That's some jellyfish. I met the artist here. I think the name was Chocolate and Tea. I met them at a con, and I just thought it was a really pretty picture. There's a couple others that I have of theirs on different walls, but I'll show those off when we get to them. Then we get over here to this wall. So we've got, I don't know, where's my finger? This. I don't know what this one is. It came with a different print that I'll point that one out when it comes. But I don't know. I actually just think it looks really neat, so I kept it. That's the God. Wait, is that upside down? Fuck damn it, that is upside down. I did not notice that. Oh, well, it's the upside down IMAX King of the Monsters poster, because I saw it in IMAX and it was dope as hell. There's a couple of Friendship is Magic ones down here. This is the wedding in season 2. This was the villains in the show throughout the first 3 seasons. Kind of missing Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, but I think that's fine. Ami from Okami, I like how that rhymes. Genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. To me, I talked about kind of my definition of art the other day in a Friendship is Magic tier list video. I won't go super deep into it. To me, pretty much any video game is a work of art, but when people talk about can video games be art, to me, Okami is one of the shining examples of art in the medium. We've got an LWA poster with Akko front and center and kind of the rest of the cast, and then one of Susie right on top with a little Akko inside the vial, which I just love. We've got Tanya down there. We've got Persona 5, Persona 5, Persona 5. Don't worry, we'll talk about all this stuff here in a second. You're up there. Another Spy Family, which is also from Chocolate and Tea, and I just think it looks really neat. This is from Child of Light, and it's a poster that Clay got me a while ago because of how much I really, really love that game. An Evolution poster. I believe this was the first thing I ever bought at a con. Most of these, by the way, I bought at different cons. This was the first, and then I've also got these little, these other little Evolution. I don't know if they're not quite prints. I don't think they're quite stickers either, but I really like them. And then this is from, I almost said Spy Family. I was like, no, it's not. That's from Eurocamp. Something I absolutely adore. Now, we're going to start showing off some figures because now we're in the Fate section. So, we've got Elia and Iris from Fate Zero. This disc plate that I got a few months ago of Saber on top and Archer at the bottom, which I really love. Saber and Gil. This really nice Tamamo that's, let me move you for a second. I absolutely love this. This is what that one came with, by the way. It came with the Tamamo. And yeah, so here's the collection of Fate figures that I have. Let's see. So this isn't a figure. This is actually what my wallet came in because my wallet is Shielder themed. Let me just bring it up for a second. There we go. It's definitely taken some damage. I open it and the thing is kind of messed up, but I do have a Shielder themed wallet and I just think it's neat as hell. That's that. This is another shielder. This is Mash, who's, you know, like the only shielder, kind of goes without saying, who, when I got her, she was already broken. If you see her arm on top and think it's not supposed to look like that, it's not. That's just kind of how she showed up, but I guess it gives her some character. This is Cleopatra, who is one of two, maybe three servants designed by, I don't know his name, but the character designer for Danganronpa. The other one I know for sure is, what's his name? Is Edmond Dantes. We have another Mash, and I think this one just looks really, really nice. We've got, I'm going to get to her, don't worry. We've got Saber, and specifically in that one outfit from UBW when she's under Castor's control. Scath. The reason this one isn't standing is a few months ago when I was in the other house, Bahamut had jumped up onto this, because this is also where I had my Fate figures in the other house. It was just in a wall that was just kind of never shown. He ended up knocking this figure over, and if you can see at the very bottom of her foot, shout out Quentin Tarantino, there's, like, part of the stand is, like, stuck in her foot, and so as a result, she can't actually stand on her stand, and I think that's just a damn shame. We've got a little mini Hosukai, a little mini, crap, I actually don't remember the name of the Master from Fate Go, but the Master from Fate Go. And we've got, you can't really see her, but we've got a Musashi that I actually really like. And then Tamamo, because I absolutely adore Tamamo. Now also back here, if you go down just a little bit, this is Bahamut's litter box. It's a litter box. There's not really much to show, but it's there. We got some more figures here at the bottom. Right now I have everyone who has a box is in their box because I don't have a room to put the boxes separately. So to just kind of explain, that's why if you got a box, you're in it. If you don't, then you don't. So we've got the Aegis twins, who, I'm going to be honest, these are definitely off-brand. Mithra, you can't tell here because she's actually standing. But I don't remember exactly what the problem is. I think it's like at one point her foot snapped off in the stand, so she literally cannot stand unless she's in the box. And I know with Pyra, I think her sword, actually like part of the plastic is just kind of gone and missing, which definitely sucks. I was definitely rough opening the boxes. Her hands can also come off like about here at the wrist, and that's not good. It's a guy that definitely got the off-brand ones. Behind them, that's Nanase Karin from Inspector, which I haven't seen the second season of, but I really, really liked season 1. I'm just a sucker for like kind of supernatural detective stories, and the whole collective unconscious that it was going for when dealing with Karin was shit I find super interesting. It's one of the things I really love about Paranoia Agent. After this, I believe this is... I probably should have moved Mithra a little bit out of the way to give a better look at Nanase. It's specifically Nanase Karin, not Steel Lady Nanase, because she, you know, has her face. This, I believe, is just an OC, but I think she just looks really, really cool, and I love the giant axe. We have Ai-chan from Tahoe on Monday, and behind her is Yozakura from Senran Kaga. And also, this is like a couple little bit of Bahamut's toys. This is where I put my laundry. Specifically, the reason I have a laundry basket and a green tub is because when I just had the laundry basket, Bahamut would sometimes pee in it. So, to stop that from happening, I bought a green tub, which is where I put my laundry, so he can't pee in it. We have the closet. Sorry, look at my closet. For whatever reason... We'll get to the Keyblade over there in the corner in a second. Bro, have you guys seen the weird AI Willy Wonka experience in the warehouse in Glasgow? Just like, I'm looking at my closet and I'm about to like show what's inside of it, and my brain is going, what's that inside? It's the unknown. It's the evil candy maker who lives in the walls. Oh, it's so weird. It's so funny. Anyways, closet. That suitcase is where I have my pants, my socks, and my boxers, which is how it was in the other house too. There's just kind of some other miscellaneous stuff that's in here. There's a lot of my shirts. A couple of them I really want to shout out. First off, the salmon polo. I wore this a lot in law school. I really liked it. It's not like I wore it every day, but it was kind of my signature outfit to the point, like, you know how it's like a thing in, like animated shows where someone will have the same outfit. If my law school experience was an animated show, my shirt would have been the salmon polo. Like, no question. I wore it all the time. The other one I want to shout out is this piece of shit. The Blackjack is Best Pony shirt. If you don't know much about Friendship is Magic, you might just assume that this is a canon character from the show, and I probably like this character, or I just wanted merch, so I went with it. If you know something about Friendship is Magic, you might think, what the hell is Blackjack? I don't get it. Blackjack is the main character of Fallout Equestria Project Horizons. The less I say about Project Horizons, the better. Let me put it like this. I spent about 4 hours talking about Kuro 2. I spent another 4 hours talking about Sea Cats, not going into the tier lists I did with Clay. If I talked about Project Horizons, it would probably be longer than both of those combined. With me being loquacious to a fault, Project Horizons being long as hell, and me having a lot of opinions, good and bad, about Project Horizons, I don't want to go into it. But I saw the Blackjack as Best Pony shirt, I think on Redbubble. I think it was the first time I ever ordered anything on Redbubble, and I thought to myself, that's too funny with what I think about Project Horizons and what I think about Blackjack. I need to wear it. I remember wearing it to my first law school final too, and I got a good grade on it, so Blackjack did me a solid. We do have some figures up here. We got a Blue Eyes, Ilulu, Taco and Atago, specifically from Cancol, not from Azure Lane. I think there's another like waifu ship simulator, but I got them here. The reason they're sideways is just the weird way I was able to get them in their boxes, or kind of not really fit them in their boxes, because Atago's had a problem where I couldn't really close it. I really did not take care of these two boxes the way I should have. Arsene, there's kind of a bit of a glare so you can't see him super well, but Arsene from P5. There's a Thyza. Behind the Thyza is the collector's edition of P5, which I did not get for Royal. I just got it for the vanilla version of the game when it first came out. Rena from Higurashi, which you may around now I absolutely love. That's a thing of Woody that I got, and the bottle of whiskey is Johnny Walker Gold Label that I had a night in Uganda, and I just kept the bottle because it was a good night. It was a good memory. Over here, in this corner, we got a couple other figures. We have an absolutely massive Ryu from Toho. This really cool rendition of, I don't know if she's standing quite right, but of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. I absolutely love this. And over here, you can't really see her through it, but if you could read it, it's Beaky from, I almost said something in color guard, that's not right, from Symphogear, and then Chris is right beneath her. And over here, we have a couple swords. This is just a sword, or like the black one. I remember there were two of them, and this was the stand. I tried to fit these two back on the stand, but I wasn't really sure where to put it. I tried putting it right here, and it was just taking up space awkwardly, so I thought this worked a little better. This red one is specifically, what is it? I don't remember if it's Muramasa or Murasame, but it's Akame's sword from Akame ga Kill, back when I was really into that. And then speaking of weapons, the Oblivion Keyblade. So over here, we've got the Spirited Away poster, and it's like a scene from Spirited Away. Celeste Mountain, also Celeste. A cross. This is something a friend of mine gave me several years ago. It's like made out of rocks, and I don't know, I just think it's really neat. I really like it. And then the Madoka Maguka spot. So, Madoka, Also, the 10th anniversary collection. By the way, there's not really much over here. It's just like, that's the internet. That's just a desk lamp. That came with the collector's edition. I mean, so did the Celeste. I'll probably shout those out when I get to them over my games. And then, obviously, Shinobu is not from Madoka Maguka, but also from Studio Shaft, so I think it kind of works. And the series have the same director, so I think it works. Monoka, and what I think is honestly an adorable dress. Iroha, who's from, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the Gacha spin-off that also got an anime. I think it got a season 2, but I never saw it. This figure of Madoka in a kimono, which is honestly one of my favorite figures that I have, because I absolutely love Madoka Maguka, and I think it just looks great. This Homura figure, which is one of the first that I got. Unfortunately, I think the box is somewhere in North Carolina. This isn't one that came without a box, just I don't know where it is. This, the grief seeds here came in that box. I think the box is really pretty, so I just want to have like them displayed and that displayed separately. The Homura Nendoroid, which I believe actually dead ass, was my first figure. Fortunately, it was several years ago. She doesn't have a stand. She's unfortunately missing an arm, so this is like battle-scarred Homura. And right up, oh, let me sit up a bit, is, here, if I can actually move her and open it, it's the soul gems and the rings of all the members of the quartet. No, quartet is 4, the quintet. Also, yeah, pretty dusty. Some of these things need to be dusted. But not everything here is Madoka Maguka, because there's also these 3. Blue one on the left, I don't know who she is. She came with the other 2, but Ren Bright and Estelle Bright right in the middle. Yeah, I put them right in the middle. It's like, look, Madoka Maguka is my favorite work of fiction. It absolutely is. I 1000% love it. Trails is also up there. Trails in the Sky being my favorite, and like my favorite game represented, my favorite anime represented. That works super well to me. And then over here, we'll talk about these in a bit. Over here on this side is Rishia, so Trails and Trails. Also a Bible over here right next to the bed. Phone charger. And then Byleth over here. Which, man, it feels weird to call her Byleth and not Curtis. Don't ask, but I call her Curtis. So here are some of the smaller figures I have. A lot of them are Pop-Up Parade. That's Aqua. Sad fact about Aqua. I don't know if you can really tell from here. No, you can. Her hand snapped off. It's still on like the bug net. It happened literally as I was moving here to put her in the box. I dropped her and that happened. It made me really sad. Sakuya from Toho. Oh yeah, from Konosuba. From Toho. This, I think, is something Jose got me, which, by the way, the Iroha was something Billy got me. Shout out to Billy. I think this was also a Christmas present from Jose one year. This was a Christmas present from Jose. Oh, Sega. That's interesting. Tanya. You can't really see because of the glare, but I absolutely adore this series. It's one of my favorite isekais. This is where I've got my Altina, so Trails, Trails, Trails. And behind Altina is just Monica. We've got Ami, who, like I said earlier, one of my favorite games of all time. And we've got specifically Ice Queendom Ruby in the like snowboarder fit that I really like. And then a collection of CDs from when I was still collecting CDs, which was, I don't know, like my junior year of high school. Let's see what the hell we even have here. Okay, All American Rejects, The Audio Slave, which I don't think is even mine. I think someone just kind of gave it to me. I'm not sure if I've listened to it. I don't know, maybe it's really good. What is that? Oh, that's Avril Lavigne. That's Girlfriend. That's a classic. Let's see. Do I really want to go through? Oh, yeah, and then, you know, like an actual fucking CD player. Let's see what we got. There's a bit. This one's also not mine. That is not me trying to say, hey, it's not mine. I don't know how it got here. I mean, I love it. I love me some Backstreet Boys, some NSYNC, some Spice Girls. I'm all about that old 90s boy band, girl band shit. If it's mine, I'll own it. Unfortunately, it's not, but I'm like, I was listening to it for a while, so it's on my shelf. We've got Daughtry's debut album, Daughtry. And then the Fall Out Boy ones that I have. We have From Under Cork Tree, as I like to call it, Fucked. Infinity on High. This, I think, was actually the first CD I bought. It was either that or 1X by 3 Days Grace. I don't remember which one was first. I think it was Infinity on High. Fully Do. And Save Rock and Roll. Those are the only ones I have. Unfortunately, I don't have Stardust. What is that? Oh, that's the Fray. How to Save a Life. Good Charlotte. Good Morning Revival. And then American Idiot. 21st Century Breakdown, a Headley album, which is not really... It's this weird album where it's not like... Oh, that was a weird glare. I don't know what the hell happened. From what I understand, because I got most of these when I was living in Australia, it's not really their first or their second album. It's just kind of, here's some songs from the first, here's some from the second. This is one of many compilation albums I got in Australia. Just Great Love Songs. I believe it's 2 discs. I don't know, I don't want to read the whole track list, but I'll throw it up. There you go. I think Lean On Me is on there. Hot Fuss from The Killers. Oh gosh, I can still see these glare problems happening. Some Linkin Park albums. Not plural, I think it's only that one. Whoops, I believe that's Minutes to Midnight. I don't know where the hell... No, that's Matchbox 20, but it's in Linkin Park. What the hell? I have no idea what happened there. That's weird. Here's Matchbox 20. That's, I believe, Exile on Mainstream. Which one? What was this called? Because it's not Uprising. It's Black Holes and Supernovas. Is that what that says? Boy, I don't know how to read. Black Holes and Revelations, not Black Holes and Supernovas. But Muse. Nickelback, I do have a couple Nickelback albums. These are mine. I will not deny that. I like me some Nickelback. I'm not gonna lie. And now that's what I call music. What was on this? I have no idea. Like I said, I'm not really gonna read it, but I'm just gonna throw it on the screen for a second. It's another one of those that I don't think is quite mine, but I was listening to it at one point, so here it is. Owl City. I do love me some Owl City. This is Ocean Eyes, right? Yeah, I really like Ocean Eyes. This is, I don't know. Oh, I think that's my graduation. It's my law school graduation. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh, Pepperdine P. That makes sense. Oh yeah, this came with the Persona 5, the Collector's Edition. It's just a short soundtrack with some of the songs on there, including my GOAT, Last Surprise. That's Simple Plan. This is another Australia collection. I think So Fresh is basically their version of Now. There's that. I believe this is 3 Days Grace's first 3 albums. The self-titled debut, 1X, like I said, was one of the first or second albums that I got. And was it Life Starts Now? Yes, it is Life Starts Now. A U2 compilation album, a Three Doors Down album, and another Australia Best Hits compilation album. Alright, let me put y'all back. Oh, dang it, I think I've heard Home to fall over. Got it. Okay, moving on. The Sonico. I have a lot of Sonicos. 2 guesses if you can figure out why I like Sonico so much. First 2 guesses don't go. Yeah, I like Sonico. There's not much else to say. Moving on. For here is my bed. That's where I sleep. Probably better if I got like a nice kind of bird's eye view of it. So this blanket is not actually a blanket I usually use to sleep on. I just kind of sleep under the comforter. And I usually have this more to the side, kind of folded a bit for Bahamut to have a little blanket. So these just usually chill on my bed. That's Bobby Corwin. That is, it is a Sylveon themed Mimikyu that Clay got me not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. And I was playing Final Fantasy IX at the time, and the Bobby Corwin scene is my favorite part of the whole game, so I named it after that. It's Murasaki from Sunrin Kagura. This was a birthday gift I gave to myself a couple of years ago. I think it was either 2019 or 2020, and then the Clodsire over there was actually my gift from Clay last year for Christmas, which I absolutely loved. Over here, we've got... Let me zoom in a bit. Hell yeah. We've got the Aegis triplets. Spoilers. Sorry. These were Christmas presents. Again, these are not Christmas. These were birthday presents, I think, 2 years ago from Clay. There's Curtis. There's Zelda. And my girl Robin right there in the middle. And then Palanquin Diva, which is my favorite Diva skin. I think it actually absolutely looks phenomenal. That I got at a con a few years ago. Over here, we have my two wall scrolls. One is the Madoka Maguka one, which also came with that collector's edition, and then Gintama, which, along with that Spirited Away one right there, both of these were Christmas presents, or not Christmas presents, these were birthday presents. They would have been last year, because I finished Gintama last year. No, not last year, maybe the year before? No, I think they were Christmas presents from the year before. That sounds about right. Moving on to... Oh, let me go and get the beanbag real quick. So, fun story about this. When I was moving my stuff in, this was just kind of in the room, and I thought to myself, that's really cool. I want to keep the beanbag if I can. If my sister wants to take it with her, that's totally fine. I get it. And I was starting to talk to her about it. I was like, okay, can I talk to you about the beanbag chair in the room? She's like, I'm going to be honest. I don't have room for it. I'm not going to take it. Can you just keep it in there? I was like, you know what? I was literally about to ask if I could, so that works perfectly. And I have it right in front of the TV stand, which I'm kind of saving that area for last. But spoiler alert, the TV is being used downstairs. So I don't quite have that set up yet. But some point, hopefully within the next few weeks or so, when my folks replaced their TV because their TV got knocked over by one of the cats because cats are menaces. I love them, but they're menaces. Then I can get my TV up here and I can finish up with the TV stand. This is just kind of Bahamut's little corner. He's got a vertical tube, which I use to just kind of keep some stuff, the documents under the bean here. These are some of my important documents, and I just know exactly where they are, so I put them there with the coin bag on top. But he's got his vertical tube, which this is something that Clay got him for Christmas. It's this like little flying fish that I think is supposed to have catnip in it, which he keeps there in his... It's not really his bed. I mean, his bed is the bed, but he uses that frequently as a bed, and he'll just, like, cuddle with it. I think it's adorable. That's his other tube that he will sometimes play in, and one of my favorite things, like, he'll go into the tube, and I'll take one of his toys and do... Oh, you can't really see. Do, like, this with it, and then he'll just fucking snap out of it, and I think it's really adorable. Backpack. The Shujin Academy bag, which also came with the Persona 5 edition, and I'm gonna be honest, the Persona 5 Collector edition, I used this as my backpack in law school. Like, I had a backpack, and then when I got the Shujin bag, that was April, so it wasn't 1L year. I think it was probably near the middle or near the end of my 2L year. Actually, hold up. Maybe it was... Okay. I'm having trouble remembering dates. The game came out in April, I believe. The 2017? Okay, so I think it was the second semester of my 2L year. So for a few months in that year, I used it, and then throughout my 3L year, I would just put shit in my bag and carry it. And oftentimes, if I was like, I'm just going to go to a friend's house for a bit or like to spend the night, this is the bag that I would take. Like whenever I'm going back over to Clay's to take shit or to spend the night, this is just what I use. Oh, that's also just like a little box full of like a couple medical supplies that I had in the other house that I just brought with me, like just in case, like bandages and whatnot. So this bottom shelf, I'll talk about the whole shelf in a second. I guess we should probably go top to bottom, but I have to start with the bottom shelf real quick because most of this is stuff that was already here. And I haven't moved out because I don't know where to put it. With a few exceptions, that box right on the top, that's my Notary Public box with like my book and my stamp, and right below that is where my degrees are. I kind of don't like the fact that I'm like, this is a drawer with a bunch of junk. Also, some really important shit. I don't know, maybe I should put it over here. Like, I would love to hang it, but I don't really, like, my law degree is in like an actual folder, so I don't really know where to put that, which sucks. I don't know. Maybe I can put it on the TV stand, but when the TV gets in there, I'm gonna have to move it again. So it's just kind of chilling there for now. And then up here, I don't remember what these cords go to. There's kind of a random collection of cords, a couple old laptops that I used to have, a bunch of notebooks. This is a new notebook that I got. I used it on the cruise. It's where I got a lot of my orichalcum writing done. I was really happy with that. The Terabyte, where I keep my videos on. Another collection of notebooks, the Aladdin booklet, and I think that's the ticket to Hamilton on top, if that's right. Do I know how to read? I do. That's Hamilton. The Clipper hat. So, I am not a Clippers fan. I am an OKC fan. I have been honest about that. I have my OKC Thunder shirt that I wear that you see probably sometimes in videos. The first Thunder game I went to was a road game in LA. Because I have a good friend of mine. His name is Danny. I don't know if I've ever told the Come On Danny story on this channel. I'm not going to do it right now. But he is a big Clipper fan to the point where he is a season ticket holder. So he's like, hey, Josh, like, do you want to come with me to this Clipper game? They're hosting OKC. He's like, sure. So because he's a season ticket holder, I got kind of the whole home fan experience, and one of them came with a hat. I don't really wear the hat. Again, I'm not a Clipper fan, but I want to keep it because it's just a nice souvenir of a cool thing that happened. This is, like, right under this is a thing of Pokemon cards that my brother and his brother got me, I don't know, like 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. I'm 30 now, fuck. That I mostly keep, like, all my foils in, with one exception that we'll get to right now. This is one of my prized possessions. This specifically, so my brother, Ryan, he had a Shining Celebi card. I was like, yo, that's like super rare. You can't really see my other prized possession, Pokemon Green. It's really fucked with because I fucked with it. I was a kid, but this is something I actually got when living in Japan for the first time, like the heart of Pokemon Mania. So I love it. But when you look at the rarity, it's not a star, it's 3 stars. So I was like, dude, that's like super rare. Man, there's like only 5 of those in the world kind of thing. That's so cool. So I wanted to trade it from him, and I was like, I'll trade you this. No. Well, I'll trade you this and this. No. And I just kept going like bigger and bigger and crazier with my offers, to the point where he kind of sits me down and says, Josh, here's the thing. Like, I love you, man. But I'm not going to trade you this card. You know, at first I didn't want to trade it because I didn't want to trade it. I think it's really neat. You didn't make me a good enough offer. But now you're starting to make me offers I genuinely can't refuse. And while you will get the card if I do that, I feel like I am significantly ripping you off. So I'm not going to trade it to you. I was like, you know what? That's fair. That sucks, but that's fair. So his family lived about 2 hours or so away from where we lived. So what we would frequently do is just kind of do exchanges. Like, all right, well, we'll meet you guys like at this halfway point, like at this gas station or something, do an exchange, last hugs, and then see you. And we just stopped at a gas station, and I got a pack of Pokemon cards there, and lo and behold, what was in the pack of Pokemon cards? The thing I had spent all weekend trying to get. I was like, huh. Man, I'm really glad he didn't accept my offers now. I think that's just funny. This is my Twilight Sparkle Commander deck. Feels now maybe a little bit more fitting that I've been rewatching Friendship is Magic, because I saw it as a meme, like, this is the thing that the cards came in, and Rarity and Nightmare Moon / Luna are already in the deck. When they announced the rest of the main 6 last year, I was like, fuck, I have to get that. And they haven't shown up yet. I did order them when they came out. This was, what, in, like, April, I think, is when I ordered them? Like, it was a while ago, but I'll be able to finally do the thing where, what does it say on here? Because she's every color. Here, yeah. This ability is every color, so it's an every color, like, tribal horse deck. Whereas it's like, if you have all the main 6, every pony wins the game. It's like, I can do that. I have an actual win condition besides Stormherd. Ow. My thumb hurts from holding this, so I'm gonna switch fingers for a bit. At the very top, here's just a collection of other stuff. This is the wand I got when we were in Potter World. This is specifically the Pony of Doom, which is the plush from the artist Voltaire, which is just a black pinky with some red. I think the cutie mark is a skull. I think she's a bit injured because my niece and or one of the cats got to her. This is I don't remember when I got this. I think this is something a friend of mine got when we were dating several years ago. Twilight. I've had Twilight for a very long time. Monokuma, Foxy. I think this was also a Christmas present. The Venonat. The Venonat toy riding a small soldier's motorcycle, which is the emblem of my channel because I just kind of thought it was funny. Here he is in all his glory. Boy, there's a lot to talk about here. Okay, so first off, the hat. This is, the Magician's Apprentice, Sorcerer's Apprentice hat from Fantasia. I got in Disneyland in my last year of law school. The Morgana specifically came from that P5 Collector's Edition. This Woody I have had forever. I might have had this Woody, let's say longer than I've been alive. That doesn't make sense. But I think I've had it longer than just about anything else. He is tenured as hell. He is OG. His leg is super ratty. He's missing a hand. He has the creepiest face. He was definitely a meme amongst me and my friends for a long time. Just the creepy Woody and just having him slither around. I was like, look, if of all these, he's got to be right in the middle. He's got to be perched like the king he is. So this stick, this like tiny little wizard staff looking stick, aside from Woody, this is probably the most tenured thing I own. I don't remember where I first got it. I think in either North Carolina when I was a little kid, or in 29 Palms when I was like 4 or 5. And I've had this thing forever. I call it my traveling stick because everywhere I go, I take it with me. Law school, I took it with me to law school. When I spent a summer in Uganda, you bet your ass I took that fucking stick with me. What was I gonna do? Not take the stick? Hell no. Celeste, this is one of my not 1, not 3, but 2 Celeste Collector's Editions I have, because, boy, I absolutely adore that game. This is where the giant Mount Celeste comes from. It has a little strawberry plush in there, too. The game is not on there. The game is right over here on the game shelf. We'll talk about that in a second. Rainbow Dash. That's just Rainbow Dash. There's not really much to say. This is the 1-star Dragon Ball, and the little holder it's in I got when I was in Uganda, so that's just a nice little combination of, collectibles and souvenirs. This that says Best Dad is something a friend of mine sent me like a year or so ago when... So we were in a class together in law school, and it was taught by a man named Bob Goff, who's... You ever meet one of those people, you're like, this is one of the most nice, genuine human beings I've ever met? I think he's a nutcase, but in the best possible kind of way. So I walk into class one day and he looks at me and he's like, hey man, I was talking to your grandkids and they're awesome. And I was like, what? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. But I don't know. It maybe gives me hope for the future that I'll have kids and that they'll be healthy and happy and they'll have grandchildren and hopefully I found the love of my life to raise these kids with. Like, all right. And my buddy was, I don't remember if he was in the class with me. I think he was. If not, I just told him about that, and he's like, okay, I tried to find an Oscar that said Best Grandpa, but I couldn't find it. When I was like looking, when I was like, I found these, but I saw Best Dad, so I sent it to you, and it was lovely. So here, we got the games, movies, and then books. So these are all just alphabetized. I don't have my games in like PS2, then PS3, or like PS2, like Sony, and then Nintendo, or anything like that. It's just all alphabetized, because that's how I'm going to find them. Let's see if we could speed run through these. Dot Hack, Bioshock Infinite. What the hell is that in the corner? That's Bloodstained. This is also Bloodstained. It was the box that came, because I actually backed it on Kickstarter. Could not remember the term. That Capcom Fighting Collection. Celeste. This is one of the collectors. I actually have to show off the artwork, because I absolutely love it. It's a steelbook. So on one side of the mirror, you got Madeline, and then on the other, the shattered mirror, you got Battleline. Specifically, this is a disc for the PC, and PCs don't really have disc drives. Like, I have a version of the game I can't play, but it came with a nice little collector's edition. I'm like, I just want to be able to support this. Then they had a collector's edition on the Switch. So I got that. I did an unboxing video for that. So that's that, and that's where that other one right up here came with. The Danganronpa Decadence Collector's Edition, which is all the Danganronpa games. Dark Souls 3, didn't really get into that. Digimon Survive, haven't played it yet, really looking forward to it. Moki Moki Poetry Bonanza Plus. I platinumed this, it made me cry. I really, really loved Doki Doki. Doom, I didn't really get into it. I'm gonna be honest, I tried, just didn't do it for me. Fallout 4, I played it for a bit, but also didn't super love it. Oh, before I forget, these two don't have boxes. That's Superstar Ultra, I like. Conception 2, so this was something I was borrowing from Billy, and I forgot to give it back, and he forgot to ask for it back. It's not great. It's not. There's not much else to say about it. Fate Extella Umbra. Is that what it is? The Umbra Star, the Umbral Star. Another game I didn't really get into. This is the game that made me realize, oh, Muso games are a thing, and they're also not for me. Final Fantasy IX, I've talked about that on the channel. Short version, I like it, I was loving it, and then when you get to the third act of the game and everything that happens, I kind of stopped loving it, unfortunately. Radiant Dawn, haven't played it yet. Echoes, absolutely love it. This is a game that I bought because the final boss theme, so the final map theme, is an absolute, oh yeah, and I got a controller, a mic for my camera that I wasn't able to move because it was stuck on the tripod, another controller, another little cross. I think that's all the stuff on here. I just kind of want to move this out of the way so we can see things a little bit better. Yeah, that's Three Houses, because I don't own Engage. I borrowed Clay's copy. I love Engage, and I love Three Houses. I meant to say Three Houses, it's one here, but they're both great. Kingdom Hearts, one of my favorite games of all time. Kingdom Hearts 2, one of my favorite games of all time. This is just a collection of two of my favorite games of all time. Then, I don't know, it's okay, and I don't really want to talk about 3, but damn, the Data fights and the Azora fights were amazing. I can't say they redeemed the experience, but they did a lot for it. Triple Deluxe, I think, is really fun. This is Forgotten Kingdom right next to it. Is it? Wait, yeah. Forgotten Lands, that's it. Boy, I love that game. It's absolutely amazing. Then we have Trauma. We've got Muv-Luv, which is both extra and unlimited, and then we have Alternative, which, skipping down a little bit, yeah, there's an iPod here. It's kind of random miscellaneous crap. Another one of those. I almost said toothpicks. Paper clips, and this is just another thing I got from Potter. Oh yeah, more pins. I was wondering where those were. This is like I think it's like a letter seal from Hufflepuff, because I'm a Hufflepuff house. I just think that's neat. But a friend of mine one year had told me, he's like, okay, I want to read Muv-Luv. You want to read Muv-Luv. And then he had read Muv-Luv, and he's like, yeah, it's fucking amazing. If I give you a Vita and I buy you like the game, will you play it? And I said, yes, absolutely. So that's why I have a Vita, and there's some USBs and shit on there. And then afterwards, he bought me Alternative, and it was amazing. Shout out N7. I absolutely love that man. Near Tomatoes. I'm not big on Automata. Automata was this weird experience where I was first playing the game, and I thought, man, I think the story is kind of okay, but man, the game is really fun. And the more I played it, I went, wow, the story has gotten phenomenal, but man, the game just isn't fun anymore. It's kind of bizarre. Okami, I've already talked about that. Overwatch, I played a lot of Overwatch, and now I don't anymore. Persona... No, I'll mess with that later. Sorry, I just got a text I'll mess with later. Persona 3 Fez. We'll talk about Fez when I eventually make a video on Reload, which I'm not done with yet. I'm near the end of November, like we just got back from the Kyoto trip. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks I will be done with the game, and then we'll try to do a video. Short version, I like Fez. I don't love Fez. Persona 4 at one point was my favorite video game ever, and then I played Persona 5. I love 4, I love 5, and I love Royal. Pokemon what? Shout out Pokemon Z. Absolute shout out Pokemon Z. A lot of my Pokemon games I'm missing and don't have anymore. It breaks my fucking heart, but there's Y. It should be like that. Ors, Moon, Ultra Moon, Sword, Arceus, Brilliant Diamond. So this is, I have not played this yet. I got it for my birthday from N7, who's the same friend that got me Muv-Luv. He also got me, right over here, the Silver Case, which I read the first Silver Case. I didn't read the second. I didn't love the first one the way that he and Jose did. Like, I don't think I'm going to read the second one, but I did give it a shot. This is by Gen Urobuchi, who you may or may not know is the brains behind Madoka Magica and Fate Zero and Psycho Pass. I think there's some others. Oh, also Saya no Uta, which I don't have any merchandise for, but what a fucking experience Saya is. Oh boy. So at some point I do want to read this. Raincode, I had mentioned I hadn't played it yet, but I want to. Scarlet Nexus was one of my favorite games last year. It was phenomenal. The Neptunia Senran Kagura game, I tried it. It was kind of boring. Nocturne, I tried getting... Oh man, my hand is super shaky. I tried getting into Nocturne. It just really wasn't for me. Silver Case, Steins Gate Zero. Steins Gate is one of my favorite anime. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I tried getting into Zero, and I just kind of hate it. I wish I had more to say. I don't. I just kind of hate it. I don't know what that is. Is that... Okay, that's Ultimate. That's Smash 4. What are... Oh, that's S for Super Mario. That's 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Tales of the Abyss, which is a game I played the PS2 version to completion, not the 3DS version. Abyss is a game I'm very mixed on. I think it leaves an awful first impression, and there's some awfulness throughout the game, mostly in how terribly the game runs. But I think the story by the end really comes around. Like I said, I'm mixed, but I'm a lot more positive than I was at first. Arise is literally the opposite. It leaves a phenomenal first impression, and then by the time the third act happens, like, why are we doing this now? You had this really good story and this really interesting theme of exploring what it means to be, like, what is freedom? What it being a slave, is that a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? Is it both? And just showing these different forms of oppression. Oppression through literally like enslaving people through distrust, doing it through breeding like contempt towards another person, like a religious oppression. There's so much interesting shit. And then, boy, I just did not like the third act of the game at all, man. Tales of Destiny 2, not to be confused with actual Tales of Destiny 2, because it's actually Tales of Eternia. Another game, I think it's more kind of okay, but I like it. I have a soft spot for it. Symphonia, one of my favorites of all time. Vespi, absolutely love. I don't own Berseria physically. I have it digitally. What's that? Yeah, that's Vespi. The Sky Trilogy, because I got them. These are solely for the shelf. This was a birthday present to myself. I think in 2022. I don't think it was last year. Where I was like, look, I'm gonna see if I can get them, and I got all three of them for, it was like 40 or 50 bucks. I was like, this feels like a really good deal. I'm gonna take it. And then because it's a movie, it's still Trails related and Sky related. I have the OVA right here. It's not good. It's dog shit, but I own it. Cold Steel 1, which is something Clay got me when he saw it at a store. The Reverie Special Edition, which I've talked about before. The Uncharted trilogy, which I should probably play, but I own it. Virtue's Last Reward, which I should maybe finish someday. I just couldn't quite get into it. Wii Sports Resort. XC1, which is a game I'm very mixed on. Essentially, it comes down to the story starts off great, has this dip in the middle that made me quit the game, and then I went back to it and finished it, and the story was great, but I always hated the gameplay. Xenoblade 2 is a game I think is really good, but definitely has some flaws. Is there anything behind Xenosaga? No. And then the Xenosaga trilogy, which I recently just talked about. One has its problems, but I really like it. 2, I just didn't play because it looked like ass and it sounded like ass. And the more I learned about it, the more I was glad I skipped it. But I watched the cutscenes, so I still know what happened. 3 also has its problems, but I really liked it. Now movies. And again, this is alphabetical order, so it doesn't matter if it's a DVD, if it's a Blu-ray, if it's animated live action. It's all here. Certain Magical Index. Never seen it. Want to at some point. That's why I bought it. Excel World. I like it. Akira. This version of the movie actually doesn't work, which is really sad. I learned that the hard way. Angel Beats. Absolutely goated. Oh, that's Angel's Egg. I was like, what is that next to it? Angel's Egg. Genuinely one of my favorite anime films of all time. Another. It's animated Final Destination. And like Final Destination, it's not very good, but it's kind of fun. Airbender, it's phenomenal. Belle, it's great. Casablanca, one of my favorite movies of all time. Same for Castle in the Sky. Child's Play, haven't actually seen this yet, but I do want to. Clannad and After Story, I've definitely talked about that. Donnie Darko, I still need to watch. Escape from New York, absolute classic. One of my dad's favorite movies. Fate Stay Night, specifically an adaptation of the Fate route. This was my introduction to Fate. It's not great, but I really, really like it. Speaking of not, oh wait, no. I was not trying to say, speaking of not great, Fruits Basket, because I saw Fushigi Yugi. Fruits Basket, this is something I have a lot of good memories of watching with my sister. I love it. Fushigi Yugi, also good memories watching with my sister. Unfortunately, after rewatching it, I don't love it. It's bad. Ghost in the Shell. It's a classic. I think is kind of overrated personally. Like, I've seen it a few times. Like, there's parts of it I love. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's alright. Maybe it is just one of those, like, the time it came out, it was, like, all the things it did. I don't know. I think it's okay, and I think these, like, standalone complexes I got for free, and I just haven't seen them. Goodfellas is great. Oh boy, Guilty Crown is a fucking experience. Guilty Crown is one of the worst things I've ever seen, and that's why I own it. There's this point, like, the first half of Guilty Crown is, like, not good, but it's almost kind of good, and then it starts genuinely getting kind of good, and then you get to the halfway point, and it's terrible, and then there's this chunk of episodes where it starts getting really interesting again, and then you get to the end game, and I remember having to turn my brain off just so I could finish it, and I'm like, if I cared anymore about anything that was happening, like if I dared to question what was going on in the narrative, I think I would just have an aneurysm from all the conniption fits I would be having. But I turned my brain off, so I was like, hey, look at the pretty colors and the pretty ballet outfit, and not questioning why her dancing on a map of the world is causing people to become encased in crystal. It's really bad. Gurren Lagann, it isn't bad. It's one of my favorites of all time. Heat, it's really good. Higurashi, absolutely love it. The reason I have it here is because H. I know it technically says When They Cry, but if I look for this, I'm not going to look under When They Cry. I'm going to look under H for Higurashi, so that's why it's there. In This Corner of the World, I loved it the first time I watched it. The second time, I didn't like it quite as much, but I think it's really good. Iroduku, World in Color, this is phenomenal. I would highly recommend it. Canon 06, you can't really read it, but I know this is Canon 06. I really have a soft spot for it. Kiki, I've talked about. I love it. Kino's Journey, the original. I love the remake too. Great. Haruhi is great. What is that? Oh, that's Ava. I was like, what the fuck is... Oh, Ava's great. Orgasmo. This is a Christmas present from Dylan. This is kind of like a thing of initiation in our friend group. It's like, once you've watched Orgasmo with the boys, you're... It is made by the guys who made South Park. It's about a Mormon, because of course, it's about a Mormon who gets involved in making pornos. It's perfect. I love this stupid movie. Perfect Blue, not a stupid movie. Boy, do I still love it. Same with Mononoke. Princess Tutu is amazing. Psycho-Pass, not my favorite. I think it takes a while to really get going, but when it gets going, I really like it. Unfortunately, I don't own all of Madoka Magica, because I don't have the first 4 episodes, but the middle 4 episodes, I think this was not my first anime DVD, because, like, you know, Castle Disguise was, like, gifted to me when I was a kid and shit. But I think of all of these movies, this was the first one I, like, really bought by myself. The last 4 episodes, Rebellion, and this was the collector's thing that's, I believe it's the 3 movies, so it's another form of Rebellion. The first 2 recap movies, like, it came with the wall scroll, it came with the poster. I really like it. This is RWBY. I think this is seasons 1 through... Oh, my phone is starting to die. We got a speed run. RWBY 1 through 5. Gridman. Fuck, I really love Gridman. School Days. The Shirobako movie. It's not the show, it's the movie, but the movie is still great. Spice and Wolf. I think it's kind of okay, actually. The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. I don't have it right by Tatsumi Galaxy because alphabetized, but maybe I should because they are companion pieces. Both of them are phenomenal. The extended editions of Lord of the Rings, shout out N7, thank you very much. Goes without saying, these kick ass. The first season of My Hero, I like it. Friendship is Magic. So my copy of season 1 just isn't here. I think it's in North Carolina. Here's seasons 2 and 3. I don't have season 4. I should really fix it because season 4 is great. Season 5 is at Clay's house, but the DVD doesn't fucking work, so that sucks. Here's season 6, here's season 7. I need to check if they actually work. Totoro, I think it's okay. Nausicaa, it's pretty dang good. Arrietty, I really like it. My Japanese copy of Spirited Away that our landlord gave us when we lived in Japan. Another one of my prized possessions. Y'all know what I think of Spirited Away. Spirited Away, you know what I think of it. Star Wars. Oh yeah, this is a Spirited Away themed music box. I think I need 2 hands to operate it, but let's see what I can... Yeah, I don't think I can. But this is something Clay got me, and I love it. Steins Gate, I love it. Summer Wars, great. Tatsumi Galaxy, great. Tokyo Godfathers. Tokyo Godfathers is a really underrated Christmas movie. Twin Peaks. I never finished it. I got to the reveal of the killer, and I was like, that's exactly what I thought it was from episode 1. I think I'm good. I probably should, because I've heard it's great. Escaflowne, it's really good. Weathering with You, I think it's pretty good. Wolf's Rain. That's not Wolf's Rain. What the fuck? That's Whisper of the Heart. Whisper of the Heart is phenomenal. Wolf Children, also really good. Your Name. I don't like it. I think it's pretty, but I don't really like it. 2 seasons of Yu Yu Hakusho, it's great. 12 Monkeys, haven't seen it. And then a bunch of books. Berzinger. I bought it so I could finish the series and then didn't get far into it because by that point, I didn't really care. Count of Monte Cristo, goated. Dune, goated. Haven't read Messiah yet. Fallout Equestria. I have it on my shelf. Look at this. Look at it. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. I need Project Horizons on my shelf. Hothead. Haven't read it. I should. The first volume of Land of the Lustrous. I love Land of the Lustrous. Love Does. This is written by Bob Goff, the grandpa guy. This is a good read. I liked it. Mistborn. I've talked about Final Empire. Love it. Talked about Will of Ascension. Loved 95% of it. Really didn't like the last 5%. And I just could not get into the Hero of Ages because of following up on the last 5% I didn't like. Monstrous. I remember reading this and kind of liking it, but I never got back into it. So I wrote these. Spring is really bad. I still have a lot of soft spot for it, but it's not good. Summer, I think, is a lot better. It probably has its problems, but I still like it. What is that? I think that's Neuromancer. I haven't read it. The Persona 5 art book that came with the special edition. Promised Neverland, which I really like. Don't watch the anime from what I understand, except the first season. Tanya, haven't read it, but I really should. The Silmarillion, there's something Clay gave me. I haven't read it. I probably should. Same with Wheel of Time. Quite a few of these I've got for free, and I was like, I haven't read them, but here they are. The Tabe Girl book. I made a video on this. I absolutely love this artist. Just shout out Navi Gavi. I don't know how to pronounce it. And then a Warrior book, because most of them are in North Carolina, but there they are. The TV stand. Work laptop. PS4. Shaver. The Switch. Then on top, we've got just kind of some random shit, like my DS and my wallet, which I showed off earlier. This, very specifically, is a picture taken of a sunset after the first law school final, which was contracts. The picture doesn't quite do the moment justice, but this is like a friend of mine who was driving the car, because afterwards all the 1Ls are like, we're going to go to Duke's and have a nice lunch and hang out. He took that picture and then he sent it to us. And it was just always kind of this sense of, law school isn't easy. And boy, that first final was rough. It was exhausting. And I wasn't sure how I felt. And then afterwards, I see the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen. And it's like, man, everything is going to be okay. Some Trails wall scrolls. I guess those aren't the only 2 wall scrolls I own. We've got the Bright Trio and the End of Cold Steel 4. And after this, we've got Rena. This was something... I went to a con one year and really wanted something Higurashi related. Didn't find anything, so I just commissioned something real quick, and I actually think it looks really good. Monogatari. This is Ogi, who's probably my favorite character from Monogatari. This is the other chocolate NT that I have, because I was like, this looks almost identical to how one of my characters looks in my head, and this is absolutely amazing. And as you've probably seen, as I've been showing off all these images, right in the middle, the fucking cornerstone, Beatrice herself, the Golden Witch. So, yeah, that's it. That's my room. I finally got to show it off. I think that's it.